Rubbish truck is coming by. Rubbish truck is coming by. Right as I'm filming. Great! Hey guys, it's Amy here, back again with another video. While I am lucky to have not read a story that relies so heavily upon an appendix, I would agree that I would be seriously stressed out and annoyed if I had to read one in such a way. To keep referring to the appendix at the back of the book to be able to actually read it. But just to know that there are stories out there that rely on an appendix? I'm triggered. I cannot think of a greater way to break immersion than having a novel that relies on an appendix. To literally have to make your readers flip pages like you're doing some kind of academic referencing just to understand the basic premise of your novel is like the most obvious way of reminding them that they are actually reading a book. In a bad way. You do not want people who read your book to be aware that it is a book that they are reading. Your book needs to be easy to read. And having an appendix is one way to make your book damn painful. This is bizarre and daunting when it seems to be a requirement for high fantasy stories, almost as if it was a trope. This prompted the question where in the fantasy genre, do you actually need an appendix or is it just a waste of time? More so, what validates authors to actually needing an appendix? Is it just them adding to the page count or providing a tool that their readers will find useful? And hey, we're getting close to 100 subscribers and my special announcement. I'm gonna be releasing this announcement once I get to 100 subscribers, so be sure to subscribe now so you don't miss out the big news. Let's talk, lads. An appendix is a section at the end of the novel that is cut out of a story. It's usually used as a referral material for readers. If there is a certain term or name that keeps getting forgotten for the reader, they can usually go to the appendix to find it and get a reminder of what it is. These are typically found within a fantasy or sci-fi world as a way to refer to world-building things. Names, geography, maps, factions, although a map can sometimes be found at the start of a novel too, but for the sake of this video I'm including maps as appendices as well. Sometimes they're not mentioned in the story themselves. If there is something that you do not understand within the story or haven't quite firmly got the grasp of, then you're expected to go look in the appendix to find out. And sometimes it's seen as an alternative to info dumping. But while info dumping is bad, I think appendixes are just as bad. Here's why. How often do you get mad at somebody or something for interrupting your book? Whether that is a dog barking, your phone ringing, or a person straight up just barging into your room. You get really mad and sometimes even lose your page number or the line that you were on. An appendix is like that, but it's the book doing that to you instead. You literally find a word or a phrase in your novel that you have no idea what it is or it's been forgotten, and you literally have to stop, refer to your page number or the line that you were on, go to the back of the book, find what it is you were looking for, then return and try and work out where it was you left off. One piece of writing advice that I have learned and stand by is never make your readers realize that they are reading a book. If the characters didn't make some kind of reference as to this being a book, then this appendix situation is the next worst thing. You are literally turning extra pages. Like literally, I'm just literally gonna like take a book off my shelf here and be like, reading. Oh no, what does this mean? Better go check the back of the book. Where is it? What page was it on? Oh my gosh, it's so long. Let's see, it's not this page. It's not this page either. No, that's the acknowledgements. Better backtrack. Ah, there it is. Wait, what was the context of my novel again? You see? For most fantasy books, an appendix is not going to be necessary. As I I have said before, they are a rare occurrence in fantasy books that I personally have read. If your readers can typically follow along with the world, the names, and the system that you have built well enough, then they do not need an appendix. Because some readers are smart and they can remember this basic stuff if you present it to them in the right way. Furthermore, an appendix is just going to add extra pages to a novel that barely any people will end up reading if your novel does not specifically need an appendix. And the inclusion of an appendix will be very pedantic. It will just be a series of extra pages that you have to write and put effort into, and ones that you don't need. Very much like the human appendix, you can just cut that right off. But then there's the novels that become unreadable without them. I haven't personally read this myself, but I believe it's the Wheel of Time series that relies on an appendix for you to read it. And frankly, that series is only famed because of how much world building went into it. There is a reason that not everybody likes dark chocolate. It is too rich. And if your novel needs an appendix, then your world building is too rich and not everyone is gonna like it either. So is an appendix a logical fix for a story too rich with world building? Let's not get flowery about this, no. If you think adding an appendix that explains everything to make your world and your story function at the end of the book is gonna fix everything, then you've got your head up your ass. I said it. As Taylor Swift said, Band-Aids won't fix bullet holes, and this appendix is not gonna be the Band-Aid that covers up the bullet hole of how rich your world building is, and neither how poorly you have written your story. Because if your world comes before your plot, your characters, or how readable your story is, then you have got a major problem. A simple appendix is not going to fix that because your readers are going to be going back and forth way too much and break immersion like crazy. I don't think you want your readers trying to solve your story like it's some sort of murder mystery game. It's a lazy fix. And I severely disdain how this has become the expectation for high fantasy stories, and people are okay with that? I'm surely not. How can you tolerate somebody deliberately breaking you out of your story? This part is simple if you didn't make a grandiose mistake. You could just cut it off. Surgically remove it like the actual appendix. Because it's useless if you wrote your story right. But if you didn't write your story right, we've got a lot of work to do. Basically, your entire story needs to be written. If it can be understood without the crutch of your appendix, and your beta readers and your critique partners agree, then your story is fine. Make your names easy to pronounce or read. Make the pantheon of gods a bit more obvious. Have your world become smaller. You can do so by watching this video up in the cards, 7 crucial world building tips. This can help you assure that you're building your world in the right ways to make sure you don't need that appendix, because we need to stop that thing growing in the first place. And that's why we don't need appendixes in our novels. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new around here. Ring that bell so you can find out when I post more creative content and that special 100 subscribers announcement. My novel ASTER'S CODA exposure is available for you to buy in the description. Follow Abby Taka as she deals with an otherworldly blood feud across multiple worlds. And yes, it does not have an appendix because I'm kind to you guys. You can also check down below to find my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and my website. Stay creative, everybody, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.